This is Veno. He is one of the best Fortnite players in the world, but he should not be in this position. 4 years after the game's release, he was permanently banned after his best placement ever, and this should have been the end of his career. So how did he go from not being able to play Fortnite to one of the best players of all time? Well, Harry Veno Pearson was born on November 26, 2004 in Bath, England. Growing up, he was the youngest in his family, and they moved all over England due to his father's job. He was a very energetic and happy kid, but around 11 years old, he started getting picked on in school, which made his parents start homeschooling him. During this time, his older brother got him into video games by introducing him to Gears of War and FIFA. Veno also started playing games on PC, including battle royales like H1Z1. He enjoyed the battle royale genre and eventually found Fortnite. Through Fortnite, he was able to make friends and enjoyed playing the game. This passion eventually made him start to take the game serious. Veno started playing competitive Fortnite very early on. The first event he competed in was the solo gauntlet finals in March of 2019, and he placed 318th. While it wasn't a great placement, it was a sign that he could compete with the best of the best. Going into the $30 million Fortnite World Cup, he would team up with Juganza, who was a fairly known Swedish pro at the time. While Veno didn't come close to qualifying for the World Cup, with his best placement being 335th in solos and 173rd in duos, he was still able to make $1,225, which was fairly impressive for a 14-year-old. After this, the Fortnite Championship Series, better known as FNCS, was announced along with Season X. This was a great sign for the future of competitive, as Epic was continuing to fund the prize pool and showed that Fortnite could be a serious esport. For some reason, Veno did not compete in this season's FNCS, but during this time period, he made a terrible decision that would come back to haunt him later on. The next time we saw Veno compete in an event was Duo FNCS in Chapter 2 Season 2, and he did not play well at all. He had 3 different duos throughout the 4 weeks of competition and was only able to make it past the first round 2 out of the 4 weeks. But luckily for him, he had another chance to prove himself in this season's solo FNCS Invitational. We didn't know it yet, but solos is where Veno would thrive. On May 2nd, 2020, the open qualifiers for this tournament started, and after placing a respectable 25th on day 1, it was looking like he would qualify with ease, as all he needed to do was place top 200. Unfortunately, the next day he was not able to replicate the success he had on day 1, finishing 901st. This meant he missed yet another chance to show everyone how good he is. For most people, this would be extremely demotivating and might cause them to quit, but for Veno, it only made him want to get better. Chapter 2 Season 3 would also feature a solo FNCS, and this meant he was able to grind as much as he wanted. He played solo scrims every single day, and putting this much time into Fortnite also made him improve overall. In Qualifier 1, he failed to make it to round 3, which sucked, but instead of having to wait an entire week for the second qualifier, it started the next day. This is where he popped off, placing 46th in round 1, 40th in round 2, and 17th in finals, which made him $350 and guaranteed him a spot in heats. Veno also placed 87th in Qualifier 3, making another $200, and he was confident that he could qualify for his first grand finals. Sadly, he was contested in his heat and finished a disappointing 88th place. While he did take home $1,000, he failed to make grand finals, which was the only thing he cared about. Although Veno wasn't having the most success, he slowly started working his way up and began playing with better teammates like Nyrox, who won the World Cup duos with Aqua. Despite this, he had one of his worst FNCS performances ever in Chapter 2 Season 4. He did not make a single final, which also meant that he didn't qualify for heats. Although he had his worst season yet, Fortnite hosted the Frosty Frenzy, which was a trio event with a $5 million prize pool. He was able to make money in all 4 of these sessions, securing $2,000, essentially doubling his earnings in 2 days. To start 2021, Veno had his best placement yet, finishing 2nd in a solo cash cup, and he would team up with Knifer and Patty, looking to qualify for his first grand finals. It was evident that he had been grinding, and it was finally going to pay off. After qualifying for heats, they needed to place top 8 to qualify for Veno's first grand final, and they finished in exactly 8th place. Unfortunately, the trio did struggle in grands, only managing to place 20th, but at the end of the day, qualifying was the confidence boost Veno needed to continue grinding. After this, he would finally catch his first big break. He was picked up by Aqua to trio with him and CRR, who were top players at the time. Although Veno didn't have the best placements, he showed a lot of potential as an individual player, and this is why Aqua took a chance on him. In less than 2 seasons, he went from not qualifying to heats to trioing with tier 1 pros. Chapter 2 Season 6, also known as Primal Season, was really bad, and most pros did not want to grind, so this allowed Veno to gain an edge on everybody else. Playing with and talking to the best players in the game every day also helped him become really good really fast. Him, Aqua, and CRR absolutely dominated the qualifiers, easily securing their spot in heats. It was looking like he would finally have a chance to dominate in FNCS Grand Finals, but as soon as he was making strides to the top, it all came crashing down out of nowhere. The decision that Veno made almost 2 years earlier finally caught up to him. You see, buying and selling accounts is strictly against Epic Games' terms of service. In June 2018, Tfue purchased an account with OG skins on it like Renegade Raider and Recon Expert, and a few weeks later, his main account and the account he purchased were both deactivated.
One day I signed on to Fortnite. and my account was inactive or deactivated or something, whatever. I couldn't get on. So I tried to get on my alt account. That was inactive as well.
Veno decided to purchase an account towards the end of 2019, and he didn't think much of it because he was fairly unknown at the time. Sadly, Epic Games started to investigate the accounts of every player who qualified for FNCS heats, and they found out the account he was playing on was purchased from somebody else. Because of this, his account was permanently deactivated and he was disqualified from FNCS heats along with his trio. Veno, along with the rest of the community, could not believe it. He was on his way to becoming one of the best players in the game for it to all be taken away because he wanted some cool skins. It looked like the end of Veno's career, but he was actually still allowed to compete. You might be wondering how he could still play after getting banned, and the answer is he wasn't actually banned. While his account was disabled, he could still compete on another account since he wasn't banned for cheating. This was a huge sigh of relief, and now that he had a second chance, he was not going to let it slip away. Right after this unfolded, Fortnite hosted the Solo All-Star Invitational. 90 of the 100 spots were filled with players from trios who placed well enough in FNCS throughout the year, but the other 10 spots were up for grabs in open qualifiers. The last time there were open qualifiers for a major solo tournament, Veno was unable to perform, but this time he had other plans. Leading up to the tournament, one of Fortnite's best coaches, Destiny's Jesus, put together a group of players where he had coaching sessions to help them prepare. This group included Tayson, Janice, Rezon, a few other tier 1 pros, and Veno. With the best coach and the best players to help develop a game plan, he was ready to show the world how good he really is. He breezed through the open qualifiers, finishing second and securing his spot in the grand finals. At this point, he was guaranteed $2,000, but his eyes were set on the $150,000 prize for first place. Nobody expected someone who had to earn their spot through open qualifiers to place well, but Veno was about to prove everybody wrong.
Just take him off, bro. Nice, good kill. Nice. Nice, mats. Let's go, Veno! You're so fucking good, bro.
Let's go, bro!
Let's go, Veno! Nice. Nice. Nice, Veno. It's fine. 90 points, bro. Let's fucking go, Veno.
Going into the last game, Veno was in first by 3 points, and the person in second was none other than Tayson. On one hand, you have the greatest player of all time trying to cement his legacy, and on the other hand, you have an unknown player trying to prove himself and secure his first FNCS win. Both of them played the last game absolutely flawless until it was just them alive. Whoever won this 1v1 would win the tournament and go down in Fortnite history forever.
You have to be focusing on right now. Tayson is literally in a world of hurt, but at the same time finds 2. That could be the difference. It'll have to be Veno going for the win right now in order to catch up. He's going for Erkin as well. If he gets 3, that could be it. He's moving forward, forcing the placement. Tayson on all walls, but he sees everything through. Finds it. A big matchup. Tayson takes it.
Veno missed his pump shot. Although he lost the 1v1 and missed out on his first FNCS title, Veno still made an insane $120,000, which was more than enough for him to be happy as he made over 10 times his earnings in one weekend. And from here, he was off to the races. Tayson decided to pick him up for this season's FNCS alongside Rezon. As expected, they dominated qualifiers, and going into grand finals, they were expected to win. After day 1, they were in 13th place, which would be extremely hard to come back from, but still possible. Although they performed much better on day 2, they finished in 5th overall. While this would be a great placement for most players, Tayson, Veno, and Rezon expected to win, and since they didn't, they split up. The next season, Veno would team up with Mongrel and Joe. This was towards the end of Mongrel's career, and while he was still very good, he wasn't in his prime anymore. They performed okay in qualifiers, but finished 18th in their heat, missing out on grand finals. Right after this was the FNCS Grand Royale. This event had the biggest prize pool we had seen since the Fortnite World Cup, but sadly, Veno would miss out on qualifying once again. After missing back-to-back grand finals, people started to question if he was actually good or if he just had a lucky performance in Solo All-Stars. In December of 2021, Chapter 3 came out, and now that Trios had been the competitive game mode for over 2 years, everybody was asking for a change. Thankfully, Duos was announced as the game mode for the entirety of the chapter. While Veno was good in Trios, he was primarily a solo player, so Duos allowed him to play more to his strengths. He teamed up with his old trio mate Joe, and they flew through qualifiers with a 15th and 12th place finish in the 2 weeks and a 5th place in their heat. Going into grand finals, anything other than a win would be a disappointment, and they did not win. At this point, Veno had the earnings, the respect, and the ability to be great, but he could not win. Luckily, there was one player who was not a stranger to winning, and that was Aqua. While Veno getting banned did waste an entire season for Aqua, he forgave him and decided that he would be the person to get him his second FNCS win. From the beginning of the season, they were unstoppable, placing 4th, 7th, 6th, 8th, 1st, and 1st in the Duo Cash Cups. Aqua was known as the best height player in the game, but in previous grand finals, there was always a team stopping him. There was no dominant height team other than last season's FNCS winners, Queasy and Hen, but they were not having a good season. Going into FNCS, all of the pieces were coming together, and there was a good chance Aqua and Veno would be the champions, but there was one problem. Aqua would constantly complain and yell at Veno.
I said I am the SMG and you get slapped from 1 HP behind you! Are you trolling me?
You actually some ass cheeks.
I'm getting trolled!
The constant berating would absolutely kill the duo's vibes, but going into grand finals, this did not seem to matter at all.
He's going up, he's going up. No, I'm low, behind me. Let's go. Shooting, they're fighting, 60. Track, watch me. In there. Got that. I'm dropping down. 1v2, I'm pretty sure. Got a ball. 60 white.
Take it, go. Good fucking shit!
Did we actually? Are you sure?
Yes, they just died!
Are you sure?
Yes! Yeah!
Oh my god, are you sure? Are you 100% sure? I'm down.
Yeah. I got it!
I got it as well.
Yes!
Oh, that's so clean.
Veno finally won his first FNCS title and made another $150,000. While he was obviously one of the most talented Fortnite players in the world, he had a massive advantage that made him better than everybody else. That advantage was extremely supportive parents. From the beginning, even when he wasn't making a lot of money, Veno's mom and dad did everything they could to help him be successful and achieve his goals.
Sacrifices that I've had to make for Harry becoming a pro gamer, I have to mirror his hours. So he's eating his dinner at 2 a.m. So I'm making that fresh. So that's a sacrifice.
Before major tournaments, they would always make sure he was in a good headspace and ready to go. His mom and dad watched every tournament, and you can tell how much they care by how nervous they are when he's competing.
I do crazy things. I won't let anybody go on the internet because I don't want them making the speed less for Harry or the ping higher.
After winning FNCS, Veno and Aqua would surprisingly split as a duo, but not for the reason you'd think. Throughout his career, Aqua has always dealt with hand and wrist injuries which prevent him from grinding for long periods of time. He decided to take a break for the next season as they had already qualified for the FNCS Invitational in Raleigh since they won FNCS. At the same time, Queasy was also looking for a new duo after a disappointing performance with Hen. As Queasy was the other dominant height IGL in EU, this worked out perfectly as they fit each other's playstyles. Their first season playing together in Chapter 3 Season 3 went fairly well as they won a Duo Cash Cup and placed 3rd in the FNCS Grand Finals. This meant that Veno could now play the Global Championships with Queasy because they qualified themselves. Going into the tournament, it looked like they were poised to win. In the weeks leading up to the FNCS Invitational, there were 3 Elite Cups and they placed 1st in 2 and 2nd in the other. Not only were Queasy and Veno in peak form, they were the only good height duo competing in the Global Championships. They put in more time than ever because they had one objective, and that was to win. There was one issue though. Due to the lack of dominant height teams, Cammy and Seti decided they were going to start playing it as well. They were easily the most prepared duo in the lobby as they were able to perform no matter the circumstances. After picking up a win in Game 5 and a 2nd place in Game 6, Queasy and Veno finished day 1 in 1st place. With a 5-point lead on 2nd and a 10-point lead on Cammy and Seti, they just had to do the same thing tomorrow and they would win. And their dominance would continue on the first game of day 2.
This is basically Queasy and Veno's game. Both sides are starting to run out now. Queasy's down to 1 build as well. This is looking very dire. They're going to have to cap off. Janice and Vidil know better. They need to continue the pressure. Veno goes down. He takes a shot. Vidil blocks it. Beautifully done. Janice snuck up from behind. Queasy with a great follow-up. And oh my gosh, it was so close. But Queasy touches out in the end.
They picked up a 4-kill win and extended their lead by even more. Their next 4 games would be solid, but Cammy and Seti's were even better as they secured 2 wins and 2 top 5s. At this point, Cammy and Seti were in first with 360 points, and Queasy and Veno were 12 points behind. Both of the duos were so far ahead of 3rd place that going into the last game, even if they both got 0 points, they would still finish 1st and 2nd. Because of this, Queasy and Veno had 2 choices: play the game out normally and hope to get more points than Cammy and Seti, or they could 50-50 them off spawn. This is when the most iconic moment in the history of Fortnite competitive went down.
Queasy, Veno are trying to take it by force. You only win in one way, and that's taking that crown. Veno is here. Queasy scene. Veno has to get this thirst here. He knows now it means everything. We might as well seal this deal. Why wait?
Bubble shield going out. He's trying to bait it. He's trying to bait the revive so that way Cammy might peek. Breaks through the wall. Shot's gonna be fired! And they do it! Become Legends are on top!
Become Legends has officially managed to win the biggest fight of their careers.
Yet again, Veno lost a 1v1 to win an FNCS title. They still finished second place and made $70,000, which would be a great achievement for anybody, but according to this post-game interview, he was not happy.
I mean, you must be very proud as well, Veno, of what you boys achieved here at Invitational.
No.
This mentality is what separated Veno from everybody else. He was never satisfied and he wanted to win. Going into Chapter 4, he would continue to duo with Queasy, but they did not enjoy the season due to how broken the Shockwave Hammer was. Because of this, they didn't grind as much as they should have and had a disappointing season for their standards. Yeah, a 4th place finish was considered disappointing. This season was a huge wake-up call and they decided they would be winning the next FNCS no matter what it took. When Chapter 4 Season 2 came out, they started to work with BloodX as their new coach. BloodX was and still is one of the best Fortnite coaches, and his insight could be the difference between a 4th and a 1st place finish. In FNCS qualifiers, they finished 3rd, 1st, and 7th, automatically punching their ticket to the grand finals. With the help of BloodX, they were able to use their drop spot and the kinetic blade in order to craft an unbeatable high ground strategy. Since they landed at Kenjutsu Crossing, they were almost guaranteed to get purple kinetic blades, which had 3 charges as opposed to the blue ones, which only had 2. Because of this, they were able to use the blade to fly high into the sky and be higher than everybody else and take height every game. It was obvious they were the best duo in this grand finals, and we were all about to witness history.
Nice, Veno. Oh. Nice, Veno. Come on. Yeah. Nice. Nice. Yeah. Nice! Come on, man. Yeah. Nice. Oh yeah, I see. I have no match. Oh my god. You should have played flag, you fucking Cyclops! Bro, I didn't see him go.
Queasy and Veno won 4 of the 6 games on day 1 of grand finals. At the end of the day, they already had a 116-point lead, but they had no plans of slowing down.
These kids are playing heel off, by the way. They're chilling.
Just follow the zone.
I'm dead, I think. No, dead on one.
Nice. Nice. Let's go. God.
Dead.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, they won 6 of the first 8 games in an EU Grand Finals lobby. By now, the tournament was already over. They could have not played the last 4 games and still won. This was the dominant performance everyone had expected from Queasy and Veno, and the entire community was confused how a team could be this much better than everybody else. Obviously, going into the next season, everybody expected them to win FNCS again, but that did not happen at all. After trying a different drop spot in week 1 of qualifiers, they finished 48th place and didn't gain enough series points to qualify for heats. Although there were still 2 weeks of qualifiers left, the format was very questionable. You see, in order to make it out of the open round in Chapter 4 Season 3's FNCS, you needed to place top 200 out of tens of thousands of teams. This meant that one mistake could ruin your chances to qualify, and that is exactly what happened to Queasy and Veno. They failed to make it out of opens the last 2 weeks, meaning they missed out on grand finals. Fortnite is the only game where you'll see a team put up a historic finals performance, then not qualify for finals in the next season. Thankfully, their FNCS win in the prior season qualified them for the Global Championships in Copenhagen, so they had something to look forward to. Even after failing to make it out of opens twice, they were still a favorite to win. For the next 2 months, they put in the time because the only thing they wanted to do was win a global LAN after getting second the previous year. Unfortunately, they didn't perform too well and finished in 11th place. One of the big reasons they didn't place as good as they should have is because every zone pulled across the map from their drop spot at Kenjutsu Crossing. Regardless, this was a disappointing performance and they split up as a duo after it ended. In the first season of Chapter 5, Veno would team up with Tayson once again, but they were contested in grand finals and finished 15th place. Next season, they stuck together but had another disappointing 11th place finish in FNCS. At this point, they decided to split as a duo. The thing is, most of the duos in EU were really established, so Veno didn't have too many options. With one more FNCS to qualify for this year's Global Championship in Dallas, something had to change. For FNCS Major 3, EU and NA both have 10 qualification spots for the LAN, so Veno decided to move to NA and compete with Clix. At first, everybody wondered if this was the right move for Veno, as Clix hasn't placed as well in an FNCS, so it was a big risk. But last weekend, they proved everybody wrong. Veno and Clix showed everybody why they are a top duo in the region, winning the first week of FNCS qualifiers.
and pump. Go down and pump. Dude, yeah,
No, me.
He me off.
it's all good.
Thanks, Veno.
Yes, one more. Coming up.
One.
Let's
Go, Veno! Veno! You're the best player to touch the fucking game, Harry!
even more.
I'm turning in his back.
Nice, Veno. You're so fucking good, Veno. Well played, bro.
Veno has made it very clear that he has one goal for this season, and that is to get Clix his first step in CS win.
What do you want to do by the end of 2024, Veno?
What I want to do is I want to give Clix his best ever placement.
So far, they're looking good, so now we just have to wait and see if they can do it. Veno's story is proof that hard work will beat talent every time. Although he made his way to the top of the competitive scene far later than everybody else, he is one of the most accomplished players in the game. It's crazy to think his career could have been over once he got banned, and we may have never known who he was. If you enjoy videos like this, drop a like and subscribe to the channel because I upload this kind of content once or twice a week depending on how lazy I am. And if you want to see the entire evolution of Fortnite's mechanics, click on this video.